how we opened our photography studio on a very small budget, and I'm going to caveat that this was incredibly reckless and I would not recommend anybody does the same thing. So let's get into it. Back in 2013, myself and my husband were already doing photography part-time on a mobile and location basis. I was due to graduate from university that summer, and he was midway through his degree. He went as a mature student studying photography. And then we were wondering what the next steps were. I knew that leaving university meant that I needed to either get a job or go full-time with the business. And for me, I always wanted to work for myself. So I really wanted to dive in and take this to the next level. So what we did was we went to the bank and we took out a loan for £7,000. Did we put much thought into it? No, probably not. We did not plan how the repayments were going to be made or anything like that. We just thought this is enough to get us started and we will somehow make it work. And thankfully we did, but that was a little bit reckless and not something that I would ever say for anybody else to go and do. So essentially that £7,000 got us a deposit and a month's rent up front on the premises that we took on. It got us, we spent a bit of money on doing it up, so getting it painted and decorated. We did it all ourselves, by the way, so it was just a case of buying the materials and a camera body, a lens, or a new couple of lenses, maybe, I can't remember now, backdrop system and all of that, and some new lighting. And it was all, aside from the camera body, because it was a Nikon D4, so that was the biggest part of the budget, everything else was cheap. And we just absolutely went for it. We didn't have a clue what we were doing. We didn't know how to market a business. We didn't know how to run a business. We were in our early 20s and very, very naive to everything that was going to happen, I guess. But that was probably a good thing at the time, because it meant that we were just determined to make it work. In terms of marketing, we were running Groupon deals, which was absolutely an experience of its own. But I'm not going to get into that at the moment. Wouldn't do it again, would not recommend. But it was a learning curve. We learned a hell of a lot during the process. And thankfully, we managed to make our rent, the loan repayment, and our expenses every month. We didn't take any sort of earnings for a long while. So yeah, I mean, that's how we started off, really. We lived very, very poorly. We'd just taken out our mortgage as well, so we had the stress of that on top, and we had our first child within a year. So it was a very, very busy time, very chaotic. But thankfully, it's all paid off, and we're super happy where we are at the moment. But yeah, wouldn't recommend people doing it the way we did it, but it just does go to show that if you are determined and if you really want to make something work, then you'll find a way to do it, even if it's the last thing you do. And on that note, I'm going to go back and cook my corned beef pie.